Um, so you're a very intriguing person, Alan. One of the things that makes you very intriguing is that as a pro-choicer, you opposed the 1973 Roe versus Wade verdict. And I'd like you to explain on constitutional grounds why did you take this position? And I'm assuming that you're still taking this position now, 50 or so years later.
Well, I don't think Roe versus Wade should be overruled. In 1973, I was somewhat critical of it. I think it's a close question. I don't agree with people who say that there's nothing in the Constitution to protect the right of privacy. There is. The Fourth Amendment talks about the right of the people to be secure in their persons.
Mhm.
And the word secure really meant privacy back in the day that the Bill of Rights was adopted. I think that there could have been a stronger argument for a woman's right to choose, based largely on health considerations and bodily integrity, and also the Ninth and Tenth Amendments. I think an opinion could have been written. It would have been very difficult because, abortion is not at all like gay rights. Gay rights has no victims.
Mhm.
It's nobody's business if two people have sex, if they're of the same gender. It's nobody's business if they want to marry. Nobody's hurt. But if you believe that a fetus, at some point at least, has some interests, if not rights, then there's a conflict. And I myself believe that in the early stages of pregnancy, there should be an absolute right to terminate the pregnancy. I don't think the interests of the fetus are sufficiently compelling. For example, I'm also in favor of birth control. Nobody has the right to be born, so birth control has no victims. But when it comes to late-term abortions of a fetus whose life could be saved, then one second, please. Yeah, when it comes to late-term abortions, and the fetus could be saved and could be born. Obviously, I have a different view, and the question is, should these decisions be made legislatively or constitutionally? Those are hard questions. But for example, if the Supreme Court were to overrule Roe versus Wade, which I disagree with, I don't think they should. That doesn't mean that it follows that gay marriage will be overruled, or the right of a black man to marry a white woman will be challenged. There are no victims there, or the right to birth control. There are no victims there. I divide rights into two groups: rights with victims, for example, the right to bear arms, the right to have guns, has potential victims, people who are shot and killed by people who improperly use their guns. Abortion, there is another side to that story. On the other hand, many other rights are victimless. So I think the Supreme Court should make that distinction. I'm writing about that right now.
Yes. So I'm not a Harvard Law student. I've not had the fortune to be a participant of your courses, one of your courses. But from my reading, I've come to conclude that Roe versus Wade may be one of the worst Supreme Court decisions. Well, there's the constitutional ground in that it is kind of a legal fiction. But ever since the decision has been made, the confirmation of justices, both from Republicans and Democrats alike, have been based on the justice's opinion, the potential justice's opinion on whether or not they support Roe versus Wade.
Right.
And of course, there's the originalist movement, which has been sprung out in order to overturn this one Supreme Court decision. And so the intense focus on Roe versus Wade takes away from the justice's views on any other legal or constitutional matter. So
I agree. And, it's interesting. Someday I might write a book on what if. What if Roe versus Wade hadn't been decided? Or what if the decision was made that there is no federal constitutional right to an abortion? What if that had happened? What would happen? How many states would have passed abortion permissions, and how many would have passed abortion bans? How would it have affected elections? Would it have hurt the Republicans? I think it would have hurt the Republicans. Would it change the nature of the Supreme Court? It's a very interesting what if question. We'll never know, because obviously we've had 50 years or almost 50 years since Roe versus Wade, and Roe versus Wade is the law, at least for the next month or so. We don't know what it will be after that. But the what if question is a very interesting one. I don't know how necessarily it would be resolved, but it's fascinating to think about it.